Good morning, Torbay. Well, we're here live broadcasting, don't tell anyone, from the Epic Centre over at the High Tech Cluster in Paignton. Couldn't give this opportunity a miss. It's great facilities, and thank you so much for Wayne Losky for letting us come and broadcast live from this wonderful facility. As usual, I am joined by Uncle Jim in his playroom there, working from home safely. And of course, Emily Tucker, she is also confined to barracks at the moment, getting ready for our next lockdown. Who would have believed that here we are, as it's 6, this is month 7 now. This is episode 14 of Breakfast Bytes. And who'd have believed that we'd be still doing this? We should have been back at the Riviera Centre today, but for obvious reasons, we're not. So all the best to Simon. Hope things are going okay. And we desperately hope to see you next year. So we've got a wonderful lineup today. We wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for the exec team of Torbay Business Forum. I'm Steve Reynolds as chair, if you didn't know, and we've got a great team of people working behind the scenes. Emily, of course, is making these events possible, thanks to South Devon College for providing the kit there. Angela George of IMS Marketing, superb effort in promoting our events, doing all of our marketing, running the website. If you haven't seen it yet, please look at the website. We've got a great following. What we want to do is bring businesses together, more businesses, and together we can work together and help Torbay grow. We've got 896 Facebook followers. Now, my challenge to you guys, how high can we get that? Let's get through the 900, get onto the Facebook page, like it if you haven't already. Please follow us and like, so that's good. We've got 543 on LinkedIn, and we've got 3,500 on Twitter. So we are building. And of course, we've also now got our new initiative with the Torbay Business and Chambers Network. So we intersperse those. We have Breakfast Bytes as first Tuesday, and then third Tuesday will be our TBCN networking event, which is done via Zoom. So as we always say, other webinars are available. So looking forward to that one later in the month with Dean Kelly and the crew. Now, we couldn't do this if it wasn't for our sponsors. So our sponsors of the month are, of course, the world famous in Torbay, Accounting for Everything. So thanks to James Twigger. Of course, James and Helena from the HR department, they run their 3 times a week webinars, 10:30 on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday normally. You can tune in and get all of the latest news on COVID, whether it's HR or finance or support. So please do tune into those. So thanks to Accounting for Everything. And also we have Edmondson Electrical now as sponsor of the month as well. Now, David Martini and his crew, right at the start, they were bringing world-class products to the scene. The PPE experts, I nearly got mixed up with PPI, but that's another life. So the PPE experts in Torbay, please do contact Edmondson Electrical. I'm sure they'll be able to help. So thanks, guys. And all our other lovely sponsors, which you've seen on the opening slide. And we come to those each month, and we could not produce these without you. So thank you. Right, Jim, what's happening in the playroom? Jim Parker of Torbay Weekly. What's news in Torbay?
Thanks, Steve. Good morning, everybody. Everybody's there, nice, safe and well. My playroom is still operating, and Freddie, my rocking horse, is still with me, and has been the last 6 to 7 months, which seemed like a lifetime. Anyway, in the weekly this week, as you'd expect, we're featuring, it's like Back to the Future, really, because we're looking at COVID, unfortunately, in the next 4 weeks lockdown. But for a positive way, the community, as it has done the last 6 months, is really rallying around already, Steve. The Torbay Community Development Trust has already set up its helpline. The Food Alliance is there. There's an appeal gone out for people to be good neighbours. I know that when that was launched back in March, April, they had at least 50 neighbours responding in the first couple of days, which is typical of Torbay. We're going to let people know how they can help business-wise, where the TDA and car come in later on this morning. So it's really a case of Torbay putting together through this next 4 weeks, as we have done in the last 6-7 months. And we do have one quite harrowing story, which is different for us, really. We have talked to a COVID survivor, just to ram home the message of how dangerous this is. so everybody gets that message really. So it's a balance between getting that message across and getting the community on board, which is the theme this week. And we've sort of have a little campaign which says that we're there with you, which is typical of Torbay really. We got a regular array of columnists, and talking of community help, we got Katie Cabana, who's forged ahead with plans to have a look at the UB40 bus and turn into a community vehicle. We've got other columnists that go back donkey's years. We've got some modern ones. We got a lady called Lizzie Bray, who's a college student at South Devon College. She's brilliant for a 17-year-old girl who's writing a column, and she's going to go far in journalism. And then we've got sport. And it's great to be able to report on the success that is Torquay United at the top of the table. Hopefully the start of an FA Cup run, despite all the challenges they have, it's a huge success story up there, and it's great to have Mel and Dom on the call today. So ending on a bright note, Torquay United game brilliantly, Steve.
That's fantastic, Jim, and I'm sure you'll keep us up to date with all those. So you'll be bringing Mel and Dom along to speak to us towards the end of the programme. So thank you, and thank you for your support as always, because Archant are, of course, a new sponsor of the forum, and Torbay Weekly. Glad to be in partnership with you. So thanks, Jim. Right, so I've always said, we love Torbay, and we have to sort of put the rest of what's going on in the world aside at the moment. But we love Torbay, we love living here, we love working here, and we want people to visit. And I've always said you can spend a lot of money on advertising and marketing, but it ain't any good when you get here. It's no good, it's wasted money. So how do we make sure that our destination Torbay is great, is world class, and makes people want to come back and tell their friends, so that we can actually improve our area and help it grow? Well, a couple of years ago, the Destination Management Group was created. I was asked to join it. We had Carolyn as a chair, and Pippa Craddock, then she took over. And our current chair, and I'm so pleased to have her with here today, is our very own Lynn Stevens of South Devon College. And I'm hoping she's going to just suddenly pop up any second now. If not, I'm going to be left here talking to you for a while. Phil, Jim, Phil. So,
I mean, don't worry.
Yeah, but there's nothing much else. There's nothing much else going on in the world, is there, at the moment, Jim? I mean, I wouldn't want to second guess the American elections, and I certainly wouldn't. No. Yes, and as if by magic, rescued. Lynn, it's great to have you with us here today, and thank you so much for coming to join us. So I believe you've got a few slides, but if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, and what it's all about. Over to you, Lynn.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Steve. It's lovely to be here. I managed to get over the technical challenge this morning, and I'm actually broadcasting live from my little office at home as well. So my name is Lynn Stevens. I am the Senior Curriculum Head for what am I looking after? Sport, fitness, adventure, public services, travel, tourism, catering, hospitality. So a whole range of leisure-related programmes at South Devon College, which led me to be invited to join the Destination Management Plan group a couple of years ago. And I was really thrilled to be asked to chair the group back in June this year, when Pippa stepped down after her year. So so since June I've been chairing the meetings, and it's been absolutely brilliant working with the partners in the group to look at the key areas of focus for the plan to take the destination forward. So can you move on, please? Just a quick introduction then for those that may not be familiar with the Destination Management Plan group. So the group is a collaboration of partners that work together to achieve the vision to develop the English Riviera visitor economy, and it's about strengthening and developing the English Riviera tourism offer. And on the left-hand side of the slide, you can see the little green arrows. These are the overall objectives of the group, what we're aiming to be working towards constantly. And this frames the kind of the work and the focus of the activities that we work towards. So you can see that we're looking at increasing year-round growth in visitor numbers, both from the UK and internationally, extending the season beyond the school holidays, so thinking about those shoulder seasons, so early spring and later on in the autumn. Also thinking about attracting new numbers, so different people coming into the Bay. And whilst they're here, we want them to spend as much money as possible, so it's increasing the visitor spend. And then thinking about how we can attract investment and reinvestment. We're thinking also about this marketing opportunities that we've got. So we need to be constantly developing a sustainable marketing offer for the Bay. So it's constantly sharing the good news and thinking about how we can maximise our reach. And then my particular area of passion is the skills level for the people that live in the Bay. So raising the level of skills. So you can see the spider graph that I've put on there as well, which shows the key partners that work within the Destination Management Plan group. And you can see the breadth of interest that we've got. So we've got the English Riviera Bid Company, so they look after tourism, they head up tourism for us in Torbay. We've also got the TDA, Torbay Culture, Torbay Coast and Countryside Trust. The English Riviera Geoparks are working with Mel Border and Nick Rowe from the Kent's Coven. Meet Devon, which we've got a new partner recently voted in, which is Nikki Harding, used to be at the English Riviera Centre, now heading up a separate entity to promote the Bay. We've also got ourselves at South Devon College, and we're very proud to be involved, and we are involved in lots of different aspects of supporting destination. We've also got Torbay Business Forum, so all the people here today, and obviously Steve sits on the panel as well. Torbay Together, we're working with Jim and National Trust, as well as the Torbay Council. So you can see there's a real broad range of vested interest in the partnership. And we meet, we were meeting traditionally every 3 months, but since June we've moved to meeting every 6 weeks. Because there's just so much going on due to COVID and the changes, and everything's moving at such a fast pace. We've decided that we need to meet a bit more regularly to make sure that we keep that joined up approach. Thanks. Next slide, please. So although I could talk all day about the brilliant work that the partners do to support the destination management, I think that I was kind of thinking that I wanted to share some of the key things, the recent successes that we've had that have been really great over the last few months and will help to support us going forward. So I've chosen to look at Torbay culture and the tourism culture with you today. So there's two of the projects here that I've got on screen for you. One of them is the Speed Up and Slow Down project, and this one is around really promoting the breadth of activity on offer across the Bay. And obviously Torbay, you know, the whole reason that we have the Torbay tourism really started back in the Victorian ages, and it's focused around health and well-being, and we wanted to really promote, you know, the different activities that can support people to come down to the Bay and have an amazing time, either by speeding up or by slowing down. So some of those things are around adrenaline fueled activities like coast steering, jet skiing, walking around the coast paths, obviously, as well as things like the steam train, even the ferry across to Brixham. So there's a whole range of different activities that we've been promoting on the website, on the tourism website, around this speed up and slow down theme. We've also got the writers on the Riviera, and this is obviously a cultural perspective, looking at the famous writers that we've had in the Bay. So we had Mary Shelley, who wrote a children's book that was when she was here in the Bay, and we also had James Joyce, who wrote Ulysses while he was staying at the Imperial. And obviously the Agatha Christie theme weaves its way around the Bay. And we have walking trails that are available on the website. It's a free downloadable map of the bay. You can see there on the bottom right hand corner, which shows all the highlights related to writers in the bay. And there's also on the website some audio information that support the map and the trails, and that's around taking visitors around to specific sites of interest that have inspired the writers that have been here in the bay. Thanks, Dan. Okay, I wanted to draw your attention to the English Riviera website because if you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend that you go and have a look at it. Obviously, when you live and work in the bay, it's not maybe something that you would be your go-to to go and have a look at, but honestly, it is absolutely brilliant. It's a really clean, easy to use website. It's got fantastic information about things to do, places to stay, where to eat, and a couple of things I just wanted to draw your attention to specifically have been the 2 projects that we've been running around autumn adventures, and the other one was the Enjoy Summer Safely national campaign. And these were both digital marketing campaigns that went out to try and obviously promote the bay. So many of you will know, some of you painfully aware of the over £100 million drop in the Torbay economy due to COVID, but we have got some fantastic, resources and offers that are promoted on the bay, which hopefully when we come out of COVID will be the things that really support to get the visitors back into the bay and enjoying the destination again. So Carolyn's team, so Carolyn Costerson, who heads up the English Riviera Bid Company, has been working relentlessly through COVID to update businesses, lobbying government, supporting the sector to recover and repair, and really disappointed that we're seeing lockdown 2 deja vu. But Carolyn and her team, with support of Becky Davis from the TDA, will be from Wednesday evening, Wednesday at midnight, we'll be going back to that kind of relentless support that are offering to help people through the next round of COVID lockdown. So this is around making sure that people have got the right comms at the right time to support the extended furlough and the grants to businesses across the bay. So they do a really key role in supporting anybody involved in the visitor economy. So I think definitely, if you haven't seen that website, please do go and have a look at it, because it's a great website for us and showcases the bay brilliantly. Thanks, Becky. Not Becky, sorry.
Where's Becky?
Emily.
Becky's here.
Charlie doing it.
Okay, so another piece of good news that I wanted to share with you, and this links to, you can see I've got the objectives on each slide. My real passion is the area of skills development, and I thought this was something that we ought to be considering, because we're aiming as a college, we're aiming for future success in apprenticeships going forward. But this just shows the level that we're currently working at the college when it working in collaboration with local businesses and the TDA to promote apprenticeship and skills development. So back in 2018, I went to an event called The Rock Connects Us, which many of you may have also been at, and was inspired at the opportunity that we had to promote the bay, the Geopark, and went back to college and started to develop the opportunity with my colleagues in the curriculum around how we might rewrite our adventure curriculum to better reflect and promote the opportunity that we have with the Geopark. So my team set to working up some changes in the curriculum which would give our degree students opportunities to create resources which we could use with school children or by school children to better understand the Geopark. So there was activities around geology, getting pupils out and enjoying the natural world that we have around us in the bay. And this was really well received. And obviously working with Mel Bordia from Geopark and Nick Powell, we worked together and really shaped up the changes in the curriculum that would really support the opportunity that we had. In the background, Becky Davis, as the Senior Economic Development Officer from Torbay TDA, was working with Reach Outdoors, our local adventure outdoor adventure provider, and they were looking at opportunities with getting staff into their organisation onto the apprenticeship. So then Becky and I met up, and through the partnership we developed a collaboration where we would work with Reach Outdoors to promote apprenticeship opportunities, and we further developed our curriculum to really shape up what that opportunity might look like. And our apprenticeship was basically written to get outdoor adventure instructors trained and developed actually here in the Geopark. This was really kind of transformational for us as an apprenticeship offer, because it was really focusing on what our local employers really needed, and it also made us unique in our apprenticeship offer across the country. This really captured the attention of the annual apprenticeship awards, and we were really proud to be shortlisted, one of 22 organisations that were shortlisted for the outstanding contribution of the development of apprenticeships as a provider. And back in March, luckily just before lockdown, you can see in the picture there and myself and Ashley from Reach Outdoors and our assistant principal, we all went up to Birmingham and were absolutely thrilled to win the national award for this for our work in the apprenticeship. So yeah, this is just showcasing, you know, that we always aim high at the college, and we're always looking to make sure that we are the best at what we do. And as I said earlier, you know, we're constantly looking at ways we can develop apprenticeships. We've got fantastic partnership with the yacht apprenticeship as well. So we're always looking at opportunities of how we can support employers across the Bay with our apprenticeship developments and apprenticeship offer. Brilliant, thank you. Next one, please. Okay, so then I also wanted to talk about how we're working in partnership to raise the bar for skills development, specifically for the hospitality sector. So about 18 months ago, maybe a little longer, Martin Rogers from Fragrance Group, he's managing the project for the £120 million investment in the Torbay hotel developments. He came to the college and I met with him, and he was very keen to see how the college might be able to develop skills for local people ready for the opportunities coming to the Bay with the new hotels. We noticed that there was a gap at the higher level of training opportunities for people. So people that might already be working in the hospitality industry, that might have developed their career over a period of time without any formal qualifications, or people that might be thinking about, you know, taking up the opportunity coming into hospitality with the new hotel investments. So we worked up what the industry might need, what qualifications would look like, and we worked very closely with the talent development manager for Northern Europe for Accor hotels, and with the Hilton hotels, and with Martin from his Fragrance Group position. And we developed a brand new foundation degree, which is a level 4, level 5 qualification in tourism, hospitality and events management. And we also developed a brand new hospitality manager apprenticeship, which we rolled out in September, which has been hugely positively received by employers who are really keen to develop their existing staff or bring in new staff to really raise the bar of the knowledge, skills and behaviour of the staff working in industry. So that's been really, really positive, and we are really keen to be developing that over the coming years to make sure that we are giving every opportunity for local people to develop real careers in the hospitality industry, which has to date really been quite a transient industry. Often people come into hospitality and use it as a kind of stepping stone role into maybe a different career. But we really want to change that culture, and we want to promote hospitality as a real career opportunity for people coming from school into a development programme. We've also seen a huge increase in our numbers of school leavers, so people that have been left local schools coming into our sixth form opportunities to develop from the age of 16 to 19 through our further education programmes, which is really encouraging and actually indicates that, you know, the message is out there. People are realising that the investment in the Torbay hotels is a huge, huge opportunity for everybody across the whole bay.
Yeah.
Obviously, the college as well, we're really, really happy to be involved with the Kickstart programme, which Katie and Carl are going to be talking about in just a moment. And we are also working with Uncle Jim. So I give Jim an update after our DMG meetings every 6 weeks, and then he shapes that information up into information that goes out through the Torbay Weekly. And I absolutely loved the headline that I saw yesterday for the Torbay Weekly, which is about the Bay of Hope, looking at the future of what we've got for us in the Bay. It's a really good read, some comments from Carolyn and myself, and it's really talking about, let's look beyond COVID, let's look at, you know, where the Bay is going in the future and what the opportunities we have to look forward to. So yeah, I think that just about rounds me up. So yeah, so that was a real whistle-stop tour, but I thought that, you know, the culture developments, the English Riviera website and the digital marketing, as well as us winning awards and raising the bar in training, were some key areas that I wanted to share with you today. So thank you very much for listening, and welcome any questions that anyone might have. Thank you.
Okay, that's great, Lynn. Thank you very much. This is all very much about using the wonderful resources that we've got around us, and then actually keeping the talent within the Bay and growing it and helping it so that we can grow our economy, which is what we need to do. It's about keeping it local. People aren't traveling like they used to, so let's hope we can get that staycation, nearcation brigade down here. Be good. So thank you for that. Don't forget, folks, anybody, we've got 48 on the call today, so you can ask questions. Oh, like suddenly, like out of the blue, there comes Pete Blackler with a question. Here's a quick one for you then, Lynn. How well do you think the English Riviera brand is recognised by younger demographic groups, such as generations Y and Z? Is that you and me, Jim?
I'm not quite sure.
Now, Pete's saying his impression is that they don't have a good understanding what is being promoted, and perhaps this is not surprising given the fame of the name of French Riviera, well, English Riviera related to the 1930s and 1960s. Is another approach now needed to engage this increasingly important market sector? So, sorry, that's putting you on the spot, Lynn, but that's quite a question, isn't it?
No, I love it. Thank you. Yeah, really good point. And we are very aware of that as a destination management group. And I think the activities like the Speed Up, Slow Down have been a really good focus for that. So, you know, we are promoting the more activity-based staycations. We did see a huge shift in the demographic after lockdown was lifted for younger people coming into the Bay. And they really were looking for things to do, and you know, that was the kind of the speed up bit of that project, or that promotion is exactly what we were targeting for the younger people, to do things like the coast steering, to go kayaking, to, you know, go on the coastal walk, but you know, and maybe thinking about getting involved in the activities that we've got, using the outdoor spaces, the outdoor, you know, the environment that we have. So yeah, we are very aware of that. You know, gone are the days where we are focusing on a specific target audience. We want to be making our offer much more broad, much more inclusive, and much more inspiring. And that's, you know, that's why I wanted you to draw attention to the website for colleagues today to go and have a look at it, because it is bright, it is vibrant, it does look exciting, you know, and I think that's exactly the message that we need to be promoting. You know, we have something for everyone here. And you know, it is a fantastic place to come and stay for young people, as well as, you know, people of all ages.
And I think between us, we can all just keep pushing that brand. It is nice that it's become brighter, fresher, and just really pushing what we have got and helping that spread to the younger demographic, because they will be obviously our future bigger customers, won't they? So
can I just add in, Steve, as well, that I think that the other thing that is really, really important, that, you know, and is central to us going forward as a brand, is the you know, that we are having the new hotels coming, because, you know, we know that research shows us that if people want to go on holiday, the first thing they do is go on the website, use their favourite search engine to have a look at the destination, and then look around. And when we've got branded hotels in the area, that will attract, you know, a really broad range of new types of visitors, which is exactly what we need to do. So the new hotels, it's not just about having shiny new hotels on the seafront. It is exactly that. It's about promoting our brand to a different target audience, and really making, you know, reaching out to that new opportunity that the brands bring us.
Yeah, well, we could go on for ages about this subject.
I could talk all day about it.
Very conscious that we do have we've got 4 more people to bring in, and it's pushing 9:05. So I'm sorry to rush, but I will ask just one quick question, which has come from Mark Salmon. Is there a confusion being known as Torbay and also the English Riviera? I'm not going to get an answer there yet, but I think that people might, we could almost run a poll on that one, couldn't we, Jim? So, thanks for posing your questions. I've got another one coming in from Chris Hart. We'll see how we can have push those in towards the end. But I do want to move on. Lynn gave us a nice segue into Kickstart, and there we have Carl from TDA and Katie Joy from South Devon College. Guys, I'm going to squeeze you into the pint pot, please. Tell us the Kickstart that you want to bring to town.
Okay, shall I start? Well, good morning, everybody. My name's Carl Wyatt. I'm the Economy Enterprise Manager at TDA. And over the next sort of 5 or 10 minutes, what I'd like to do is to talk you through a bit more around what the Kickstart scheme is, what's in it for you as an employer, some of the do's and don'ts around the scheme, and ultimately, if you're interested in taking part in the scheme, what the next steps might be. So next slide, please, Em. So in terms of the Kickstart scheme, what is it? Essentially, it's a new government scheme designed to help young unemployed people into work through a 6-month work placement. So the cornerstone to this scheme is this 6-month work placement. Now, if we get this scheme right, we've got a tremendous opportunity to positively influence the outcomes of our young people if we get this scheme right. I'll elaborate on that a little bit more. The scheme is available to all employers. However, as we sort of dig through the detail around these sort of government schemes, it's come to light the sole traders are outside of scope at this moment in time. But the government department that's responsible for it is looking into this at the moment. So at the moment, it's available to all employers except sole traders. So what's in it for you as an employer? Outside the benefit of helping our young people, there are some financial incentives for you as an employer to take part in the scheme. Firstly, the government has offered to cover 100% of the national minimum wage for 25 hours a week for 6 months. Also cover your national insurance contributions and pension contributions. Now you can take somebody on for longer than 25 hours a week. The government is only going to cover. In addition to that, there's a £1,500 payment to cover startup training and support costs, and that's per placement. So if you were to take on 10 placements, you get a £15,000 grant. And these placements can start anytime between now and December the 21st. So you've got time to think about your placements. Next slide, please, Anne. So in terms of some of the fine print around the Kickstart scheme, there are some sort of do's and don'ts to this, which I think it's important you need to be aware of. What the scheme mustn't do, it mustn't replace existing or planned vacancies, and it mustn't cause existing employees or people within the workforce to lose work or reduce hours. So, as an example, if over the last 6 months you've made an admin assistant redundant in your place of work, it's highly unlikely you will get the opportunity to have an admin assistant placement on this scheme. And in terms of some of the things that you must do, it must be a minimum of 25 hours for 6 months, and it must pay at least the national minimum wage, and it must be on the payroll. So those are just a sort of quick highlight around some of the do's and don'ts. Going back to that earlier point around, we've got a real opportunity to make a big difference here to influence the lives of our young people. It comes down to this point. The cornerstone to this programme is the 6-month placement. And it's the support, training, and the wraparound support that that young person gets, which will be the difference to this programme. So what you see there in front of you on the screen are just some of the examples. It's by no means exhaustive, but it's around the help and support we can provide that young person. So at the end of the 6-month placement, they can go into work. Now, whether that's with you or with someone else, it doesn't really matter, but it's about helping that young person on the journey. Now, some of you listening in might have that infrastructure in place in your business, which is great. You might be able to provide that support and training yourself. Brilliant. But many of you, I'm guessing, probably don't have that. But that support is available to you from local training providers. I know Katie will come on to talk to you a little bit more about some of the provision that South Devon College provides. But don't forget that £1,500 grant you get per placement is there to help that young person on that journey. Next slide, please, Anne. So if you're interested in taking part in the scheme, if you can offer 30 or more placements, you can apply direct. I'm guessing most people on this call probably don't have 30 placements to offer. So if you don't, you need to go through what's called a gateway employer. And TDA is a gateway employer. So what that means, as a gateway employer, we can apply on your behalf. If you have a placement, we can apply to government for the scheme for you. What also means our role will be to make sure that you get that £1,500 per placement grant. Plus, we'll also manage the salary from government to you to cover that 25 hours a week at minimum wage. We will also monitor the training provided and the outcomes, because going back to that point before, the key to this is around getting the best outcomes for our young people. So part of our role within this will be to manage that outcome. So we'll be working with employers taking part to make sure that happens. Next slide, please, Anne. And just finally, really, if you are thinking of taking part in this scheme, here's just some of the things that you need to start thinking about. So what is the role of the job placement you can offer, or the roles of the job placements you can offer? Do you have a job description? Because I know we will have to provide the job descriptions to government before they will start. So those are some 2 key things that you need to start thinking about. Who will provide the support and the training that you need to give the support to that young person? Can you deliver it in-house, or do you need to buy in this support? And how will you monitor this? Now, we can help you talk through this to get a better understanding in terms of how you can take part in this. But as we're digging into the detail of this scheme, we know these are some of the questions that we're going to need answers to enable you to have a successful application. And just finally, before I pass over to Katie, final slide, please, Anne.
Oh, that's a busy one.
No, that wasn't me. Okay, just to say then, because I think that next slide is Katie's. If you are interested in taking part in this scheme, please drop an email to enquiries@tda.uk.net. I'm hoping that's at the end of this. If not, I'll come back to it, but I'll pass it over to Katie now.
So that's enquiries@tda.net. Yeah, and Carl, .net. And Carl, just one quick question. So you have to create a new role for the person to go into. So you'll be writing in a new job description?
Yeah, it's a new role. Essentially, it can't be replacing one that's gone. Okay. So the government is quite keen that this scheme is not being used to cover jobs that have been lost through COVID, essentially.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, well, thanks for that roundup. And of course, these slides will be available. You can watch this again on catch up later on via YouTube. So thanks, Carl, for a whistle stop of that. Katie.
Hi, everybody. I am Katie Joy. I'm the curriculum head for initial teacher education and community learning at South Devon College. So I'm heavily involved with working with TDA and other organisations as well in terms of supporting with the wraparound offer that's with Kickstart. So one of the key essential elements of Kickstart is around the support for the Kickstart employee through their 6-month placement. And there's some key elements within that need to be covered in terms of employability skills as well as on the job training type skills as well. So there's a lot of information in here, so I'm happy to send anything over to anybody that wants it in a separate email. But essentially what we put together is a flexible program for support for employers to help their Kickstart employees. And we're working with a sliding scale in terms of costs as well. So as Carl said, employers will be given £1,500 and we're working on a sliding scale from no charge for training right through to just around about £1,000 for training, depending on the package that people want. So we're predominantly offering qualification-based provision because part of this process is around building the CV of the Kickstart employee to help employability skills for future. So within that, we're offering things like English, maths and digital skills development. So they might come through without those qualifications and that might be a requirement. So we're offering anything from a functional skills through to just bespoke training around English, maths and digital skills. And that's on the weeks 2 to 26 box that you can see there at stage 2. Stage 3 is our most popular one at the moment that most employers are looking at using, and that's our employability skills hub learning package. And that is it's a fully online package, but we can also offer taught sessions around that as well, and bespoke make things to organisation requirements. So we've already had requests to do things around things like understanding conflict at work, but based around COVID situations at the moment in terms of, how do you challenge somebody who's not wearing a face covering in a polite way, and kind of dealing with those situations that we haven't really had to deal with so much in history.
There's a lot of potential conflict, isn't there?
Yes. So yeah. And then at stage 4, that's where we're looking at kind of a little bit more of a bespoke kind of what the employers want to do with the employees to support them with their next development. So do they want to take them on as an apprentice? Should they be going on to a traineeship? Is the employer no longer going to employ them? And therefore, what are the trainees' next steps and that sort of stuff? So we're going to be working quite closely with employees at that point and employers. Right throughout the whole program that we're offering, if we are being used as a wraparound support provider, we will be allocating an individual tutor to every single person on any one of our programs, regardless of the level of course offer that you're wanting, so that we can offer that mentoring and individualized support as well. So Em, can you click through to the next slide, please?
That's a big list.
I think I've got a bit of a delay on mine. I can't see it. So hopefully what you should have on your screen is, there you go. Now I've got it. That's our employability skills hub. So as you can see, I won't go through all the list. I'm sure you're capable of reading that yourselves. But there is quite an extensive offer of individualized units that people can study. So the employability skills hub is a system whereby people will sign up to the hub itself, and then they've got access to every single one of those elements that they can do. Each one is separated into a small amount of short teaching material and then a little bit of assessment, which their allocated individual tutor will go in and mark and provide them feedback with. Employers and employees can choose how they want to work their way through this package. So we have the option of doing a level 1 award in.
We've got a bit of freeze going on here. Sorry, Katie, we're losing you. We're losing you, Katie. Sorry about that.
Level 1 certificate in employability skills embedded within this, or we can just go through a bespoke unit package as well. So it might be an employer decides that they want actually 3 of those units as part of their package, and that's it. But it's highly flexible. There's no kind of set to do this.
And how are you
Have you got
coping
me
with the
now?
one to? We can. Sorry, you faded out
Have
for
you
a
got me
while,
now?
and you went. I've got you now. There's a bit of a delay. Oh, I think we've frozen Katie.
Okay.
Is there another slide to come?
Yes, there should be.
Oh gosh, that's a busy one. Hang on, let me get my binoculars out. So nobody's watching this through their phone today. So I think we might have lost Katie there.
Have you got me now, or am I not here? I can hear you guys, but I don't think you can hear me, can you?
Maybe if you could turn the camera off, it might help the bandwidth. Sorry, we have our COVID's still here, and so are the gremlins by the looks of it. So
have you got me? Can you hear me now?
we can
and not
hear
see
you.
me?
Yes, we
Perfect.
can.
There we go. Right. So the busy slide you've got on your screen now is also the fact that we recognise that there is maybe a training and development need for other employees within the organisation as well. So what we're demonstrating here is that around the kind of offer that we're providing for the Kickstart employees is you may have a skills gap within the current workforce as well. So this is what we're offering around that. So things around coaching and mentoring, again, the essential skills training with the English, maths and digital skills. And then we have a vast array of remote learning packages in various different subject areas, including mental health awareness, stress awareness, health and safety awareness, all sorts of things that can help employers support CPD for their employees as well.
Yeah, that's great. That's excellent. So
I think that's all from me. So if anybody's got any questions, then please ask away.
That's great. So just a reminder for support, the email address, Carl, please.
The email address is enquiries@tda.uk.net. I know Em will send around the slides afterwards, and that contact is on the slides. Yeah.
And Katie, in terms of inquiries to you, who should they contact, please?
It's Katie Joy, KATYJOY @southdevon.ac.uk.
Brilliant. And as I said, these slides will be available via the catch up, which will be posted on via our website on the YouTube channel. Now, gosh, we are cramming it in. We've got 10 minutes to go. And thank you so much to Carl and Katie for bringing us up to date on that. It really is about supporting our young people getting into new jobs, new skills, and supporting our businesses. There was a bit of quick comment on the Torbay English Riviera conversation. Chris Hart has quite rightly mentioned that the English Riviera is a significantly higher search on search engines. So obviously the debate will continue. I think it's great we've got both, and let's push whatever we can, wherever we can, and just grow our businesses. So thanks for your contributions. Now, Jim.
Yeah.
Slight change of program today, but I'm going to hand over to you in the rocking horse room and introduce your guests, please.
Okay. Thank you. Hi, everybody. It's brilliant to have on board Mel Heyman and Dom Mee from Talk United. Welcome, Mel and Dom. Mel describes herself as the dog's body behind the scenes at Playmore. And Dom is in charge of looking after supporters and media and all that goes with it. So have I got your titles correct? Is that right, Mel? Are you the dog's body at Playmore?
I think my chairman would call me something else, but I turn my hands to many roles.
And how are you coping with COVID? I mean, I know that we were trying to get your MD George Edwards and manager Gary Johnson on the call today, but with the announcement of the weekend from Boris, it's very busy times at United. So how are you doing with COVID?
I mean, Boris has not made this world easy, but he's doing the best he can with the limitations he has. I mean, from March, when we got told our season was going to curtail, it's the first time football's ever come to a stop. You know, even in the war, they played friendlies. And, you know, when you speak to other people, it was so fresh, so new. No one knew what to do. And you're dealing with football, which is a very passionate, you know, interest of many people, whether they're sat home in their armchairs, whether it's the footballers, the managers, the staff, you know, the owner, everybody. You know, football has a massive role to play in a lot of people's hearts. When obviously the season got curtailed, just a bit of background for anybody that doesn't know, we're quite a small club at Torquay. There's myself as director, George Edwards director, and he's the CEO, and the owner is Clark Osborne. So it's just the three of us. We have no general manager. We are bare boned, but we've got a very good team together. And to us, it's about a community feel and staff that are on the journey. George and I have this saying that if you can't do anything professionally and well, don't bother. And it's the remit we have. And obviously when the season got curtailed, it was really hard, but it's rewarding now because you've got to keep your staff motivated. You've got to keep your footballers motivated. As a board, we made a decision, unlike some other football clubs that I won't name, we wouldn't let our players go abroad on holidays. We wouldn't let our players go out in big mass gatherings. We were very, very strict on them. We have to be, for obviously our manager Gary's got heart issues, and it's about doing the best for the people involved. Our remit this season is to win the league. We're very focused on that. All the staff are behind us, and it is hard to keep the supporters happy when they're used to coming into a stadium, and it's about adjusting. You've got to look at the glass as half full, not half empty. And we would love a full stadium. And even in the last week in August and the last week in September, we were all ready to open for spectators. And in the last week in September, George and myself with SAG is the Safety Advisory Group, which involves Torbay Public Health, Torbay Council, the police, the fire. We'd all agreed to a return to spectators. We had our capacity agreed. Dom, who obviously will speak in a minute, he will say that every place in Plainmoor had a seat, even if it was a stand. Everybody had a designated standing area in order that we could have our capacity. We worked tirelessly, and unfortunately Boris, for his reasons, said, no, you can't have spectators. That was only the week before our first game on the 3rd of October. We then obviously did pre-season, we introduced streaming, and it is about looking at opportunities. We are where we are, and you've got to look at opportunities. And we introduced streaming, which has gone down exceptionally well. We've had thousands of people, and the interesting thing is we actually get reports of where they are around the world. And you've had Japan, we've had Australia, we've had Iraq, we've had America, we've had Brazil, and they're watching Torquay. And that's not just Torquay United, it's the English Riviera. And the other thing that we've done this recently, which I hope everyone on this call has seen, we launched our new kit this year, which when George and I came on as directors, we wanted to work with local people. We wanted to work with the Torbay community. And that's not just Torquay, that's Brixham, that's Paignton, because we're all the Bay. And you probably see I'm very passionate about Torbay. My sister might be in Sydney and she might be in 30-degree heat now and that, but I love Torbay and it's where my roots are and it's very important to me. And when we did the new shirt, George and I were talking, and I said, I want it yellow, like Brazil yellow. And I said, I want it Torquayified. And we have this phrase, George and I, where we say it needs to be the Torquay way. It's got to be professional, it's got to be slick, and it's got to be the English Riviera. And going from working locally, we actually left our kit producer to go with a local firm, Pro Direct, who are the biggest online soccer store in the world. They've actually helped us design the kit, which has the Torbay palm on. If you haven't seen it, please go on our website and have a look at it. It's the yellow of Brazil. It's got the blue palm tree throughout. And the pleasing thing is Sky Sports actually picked it up. And we had over 89,000 likes on the Sky Sports Instagram. Now, to have Torbay, to have the Torbay palm, have that publicity during COVID, it's amazing. And, the players were all behind it. Pro Director behind it. We got Thatcher's. I know they're not Torquay, but they're the West Country. They're doing our sponsors.
You're very passionate, Mel, and it's a great advert for Torquay and all that goes with it at the moment, which is sensational. Just switching to Dom a little, just for 2 seconds. Dom, how have you engaged with the fans? And it must have been a challenge getting all that organised and getting them, you know, in the stadium, two metres apart, and then bang. So how have the fans responded to what's happening as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, I think it was obviously a very challenging time. Throughout lockdown, I was working throughout, and one of the things that we did to try and keep people on board, because the thing that's quite important for little clubs like Torquay United, they're very much at the centre of the local community. And for a club like Torquay, for the supporters of it, it's very much a release. So we had to find a way to try and keep them on board, keep them in contact, because from a mental health, a well-being perspective, that is very important to a lot of people, a lot of the club's supporters. So during lockdown, we decided to stay in touch with them by doing a number of different things. We organised weekly interviews with the manager, which we did on Zoom, which was something that was new to me, and I think was fairly new to Gary as well. But that seemed to go down very well. We had question and answer sessions, so it gave the supporters a unique opportunity to pose questions to Gary. We also did it with the players, the assistant manager as well. And one thing we also did, which is not really football related, but it's looking after your own community and looking after your own, is we used our a database of all our supporters and started phoning around. So it might have been me, if you were unlucky. It might have been Gary or Aaron Downs, the assistant manager, if you were a bit more lucky. And they were having a call with supporters, maybe some of the more vulnerable supporters, asking how they were and all of that, and sometimes just talking football for a bit, which was a big release to some supporters that didn't have a lot of people to talk to during that time. And you know, it's lots of people did lots of good things were happening during lockdown that maybe didn't get documented and all of that. And I think that was, you know, we're not trying to make ourselves out to be heroes, but I just think it was a positive thing. I was quite proud of what we achieved, and you know, we've had some nice feedback afterwards. You know, people contacting us and saying, you know, thanks for keeping in touch with us, because it was a tough old time for everyone.
But it was thanks. I don't think that a lot of people realise exactly what the club does behind the scenes when it comes to engaging with the community, like you've just described it. You know, and Mel's described that support literally around the world for a club the size of Torquay. Now, just on that, how have you managed financially? Torquay United is a really small club. You still managed to run it. You still managed to sign players. You've got teams out. How does that work financially? Because the last couple of years, not just the last couple of months, must have been a huge challenge for you from a financial point of view. Well,
my other role is obviously a chartered accountant, and if someone came to me with a business plan, I want to buy a football club, I would call that and don't do it. You know, it's great. Football is not a normal business structure, but we're lucky we've got a fantastic owner in Clark Osborne and a great CEO in George Edwards. And we have a plan. We have a 5-year plan, and they want to invest in Torbay, and they're investing millions. And to support the club through lockdown is just a credit to them both as individuals. They're not from Torbay. The amount of money they're putting in and the amount of passion they're putting in, which obviously rubs off on people like myself, on Dom, Gary, and the players. We're on that journey, and we want to put Torquay back in the league. And we want to put the English Riviera back in the league. That obviously goes with Clark with building this new stadium that he wants to do, because we want to make Torquay great. Yeah. And that's why they're doing it.
So you mentioned the stadium, so that's led into, obviously a lot of people speculated about that future plan that Clark's got. And again, how off to Clark Osborne, a lot of people wondered why he's paying millions into it, but he is because he is. And you know, and I'm the first one to say, brilliant. But what are the plans at Plainmoor? Are we going to see Torquay in a new stadium elsewhere? What's going to happen? Because a lot of people are interested in that now. And you volunteered that, not me.
Cheers, Jim. Obviously, at the moment, any business person on this call knows we're not on normal circumstances, are we? You know, we've got to plan to get over this winter period, which isn't going to be easy. But the long-term vision of the club is to build a new stadium and make it sustainable and to benefit the community.
Brilliant. Good luck with that. Dom, just with the, I could talk to you all day, by the way, and we're running out of time, which is a bit of a shame. Maybe you can come back on a separate session. Dom, community-wise, and again, I know sort of George and Mel, who's absolutely passionate to get Torquay at the heart of the community. You've sat on bodies with me. I think, you know, we got what's called resetting sport for Torbay, just putting sport back on the agenda, and United got a seat at the table. How important is it for you, from that fans' point of view and club, that it's back at the heart of the community, which Mel was alluding to already?
I think it's absolutely imperative that sport is very much at the forefront. I couldn't agree more on that one. I would have to say that it's absolutely imperative.
Okay, Mel, do you want to reinforce that? Because again, you've mentioned how important that is. So where do you see Torquay and the community? How are you going to forge those links even closer?
I mean, we've started, you know, making relationships with South Devon College, Torbay Weekly, obviously. We also forged a relationship with like Torbay Council. We had a programme for foster children last season where foster children could come in for free. Football is probably the only place you can get probably a solicitor, an accountant, a dustbin man, an unemployed person, a waitress, all sat together with a similar passion. And when you walk through that stadium, if you've got mental health, if you've, you know, whatever your circumstance, you're just you in the football, and it's an escapism. And I think the football club will play a very important role for mental health, for community, for just like feel good factor to make Torbay great again.
Wow.
I think it's absolutely spot on, and I really agree with that. And it's brilliant to see the club progressing, and I'm sure that we all wish you the best luck in that promotion trail. Let's hope we get Liverpool at home in the next round of the cup, and let's hope we're all there watching it. I'd love to spend more time, and maybe we can get you back at a future date to talk a little more detail about what's happening, because Torquay United is more than a football club, it's the community, and I get that. Steve, back to you.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you so much, Mel and Dom. We will get you back, because this is going to be a continuing story, and it'd be lovely for you to be involved with the Business Forum, because how else can you bring businesses together without having something as exciting to sort of to gel? In fact, Torquay United does make me shudder at times, because having sponsored a match once, I got to pick man of the match. All I would say is I picked the wrong one, and I was lucky to get out alive. I said, well, he did score the goal. They said, yeah, because he wasn't looking, he was looking the wrong way, and it went off the back of his head into the net. So, but apart from that, it's just, it's wonderful to have a success. And I have met Clark, and it has been, you know, his interest in our bay is worth retaining and keeping and growing. So thank you so much. We have, it's 9:35. It's great if we just bring everybody back that we've still got. It's great. We've still got 35 people on the call. So thank you very much for joining us today. Big thanks to all of our guests and to our sponsors. And of course, Accounting for Everything and Edmonds Electrical for sponsoring this month. We will be back in a couple of Tuesdays with the TBCN, so please do follow the Torbay Business and Chambers Network. We'll be on Zoom, and that's more interactive, so the crowd get a chance to play on that one, which is good. Thank you to Em for pressing the buttons in the background. Thank you to the exec. Don't forget, you can watch this again via torbaybusinessforum.com. Our website is a YouTube channel there. I think that is a chance to wind it up. I'm going to thank Wayne Losky again, and the Epic Centre and the High Tech Cluster. Thanks for hosting us today. We wish you all stay safe, be prosperous, and we will see you on December the 1st. We're going to do a bit of a year roundup, and I don't care what Boris says. We are going to celebrate somehow. We will be festive, and we will remain positive. So we'll see you all next month. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
See you later. Bye. Bye. Thanks, everybody.
End.